Thank you. Shout out to Bowling Chiropractic and Wellness. Woot, woot.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. This is what happens. This is what happens behind the scenes.
Look up at the sky. No, did no man get up there and take a letter and draw all that? Come on now, put some stars there. Man cannot do.
It's funny, the verse of the day is what we were talking about today.
Came to earth. Look on human form.
Do not worry about your life, what you eat or drink.
What makes you think they do?
What verse was that?
So that's why I say
Was it Luke that was talking the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Luke 8 something maybe.
He understands what we go through.
No, that was the seeds that
But
fell
the
in the
Bible
good
says
soil.
just thinking and all points yet live
Matthew.
out fear.
Don't worry and ask
This is
yourself
what we're able to be safe.
what
We only
will we
understand
have to eat.
every believer is only
6:31 through
God.
32.
We only
This
know.
is
We don't believe
625.
of our own. The Bible
So he's
tells
got a
us.
lot to say in Matthew 6
That's why
about not to worry about it.
I guess.
We brag
Don't
about
worry.
the
Be
power
happy.
of God.
Don't
But
worry.
it's not
Be
goodness of
happy.
our own.
Don't worry and ask yourself
It's through the power of God
what
that
we
we're
have
able to
anything to
be able
eat.
to say no to
Will we have anything? Yeah. When you read what you're supposed to be reading, woman.
but we can only live
Today's not
So are these the same? This, therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what will you wear. If not life more than food, is not life more than food, and the body more than food. So I guess it asks that question. It tells you what to do. It asks the question, and then explains why it's not that way, and then reiterates.
That's 513.
Not to worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
5106.
Megan Travis
Be sure to tune in next week at
gonna be a
the
foster
same
mom.
time
She started
for the
foster mom
Voice of the
training
Evangelist
on
broadcast.
Tuesday
Right
nights.
here
That's
on
awesome.
WCBG 1320
I thought about doing that and then got scared to death.
1320
But this says, do not worry about your life.
I know.
Dun, dun, dun.
Is the voice of Cincinnati.
Here we go. Y'all ready for this?
Okay, this is Frank.
Good afternoon. You're listening to 1320 AM WCVG, The Voice. This is another episode of Okay, Let's Be Frank. I'm Kay. This is Frank.
Hey!
Sweet. Big shout out to Bowling Chiropractic and Wellness, the official sponsor of the Okay, Let's Be Frank show. They are located at 2515 Alexandria Pike. They got a lot of cool stuff to help you out, cure what ails you. Let your wellness begin with bowling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
It does. It really does. They have this like contour light. Like if you're worried about your weight, you can get rid of 4 inches in 25 minutes, I believe.
Pretty cool.
Dude, and like, so I thought, whenever I heard that, I thought it was like a light, right? Like
Right.
standing there light. So I was like,
Alien shrink ray.
right, exactly. I'm just saying, a lot of technology came out once Area 51 happened. When they found that quote unquote weather balloon,
Right.
then all of a sudden we got cell phones and we got GPS and we got all this other crap. Why not have a beam me up light?
Read me up
or
like. That's
skinny me up like
hilarious.
whatever.
Yeah.
But no, it's pretty cool. It's like this vest thing and this face thing, and you put it on and you lay down and you just lay still and let the light do its thing. And within just a few minutes, you're losing some inches. So it's pretty cool, especially, you know, we got to get our beach bodies, pool bodies.
Yeah.
You know, and so fun. I went canoeing yesterday, and me and my belly had to get separate canoes.
Oh.
It was crazy. I believe.
That's
That's it.
hilarious.
They also deal with some leaky gut syndromes, which is just where your gut is leaky, basically, like a bunch of toxins leak into your stay in your system without being properly, processed, I guess. They deal with that stuff.
don't even sound good.
I know. Well, there's a lot of
I
things
mean-
like a lot of things that causes like fatigue and extra weight gain
Yeah.
can come from that, and you don't really know until somebody gets in there and looks around, you know. So, Bowling Chiropractic and Wellness looks at that, can help you out with that. They also do neuropathy, you know, if you're having tingling in different places and not really knowing where it's coming from, they do a few tests and help you out in that direction. A lot of cool stuff, man. You need to go check them out. It's
Yes.
Bowling Chiropractic and Wellness, 2515 Alexandria Pike in Highland Heights, Kentucky. You can reach them online or call 859-781-1000. That is Bowling Chiropractic and Wellness. Let your wellness begin with bowling. Turned out. Anyway, shout out to New Reality Church, man. They're pretty awesome folks. Baptist Church every Friday night. They feed us at 6, message at 7, and a meeting at 8 for those who need that. It's pretty cool stuff. An imperfect place for imperfect people. We just come and get together, fellowship, worship, and do what we do here. Dive into the Word and get closer to God. You know, pretty awesome place. Mr. Chris Hamilton, Jeff Howard, Greg Moore, all you folks. Thank you so much for all you do and support of your community, for sure.
Absolutely.
New Hope Christian Center. Love you guys.
Yes.
941 Central Avenue every Sunday morning at 10:15 a.m. Great worship. Wednesday nights at 7 is a killer Bible study led by the
Kevin Johnson.
Kevin Johnson.
God love Kevin.
Pretty awesome place. That's a come as you are, leave change type place. Super excited to be a part of that. Been going there for a long time. Those are some really good folks, non-judgmental. Just like I said, come as you are, leave change. It's not very often. I've had some things come up in the past couple of days, and it's just not too often that you go to a quote unquote church and you're just like super accepted,
Right.
you know, and everybody that you're around understands that life happens, but they just try to feed you God through the scripture.
Right.
And it's not trying to tell you how to live life. They're not trying to tell you what you're doing wrong. They tell you where to find the answers
Right.
to the questions that you have. It's super crazy. Churches don't do that these days, or those buildings don't provide that much anymore. So anyway, it's New Hope Christian Center, 941 Central Avenue, 10:15 a.m. Sunday, 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. And
The Refinery Church of the Nazarene.
the Refinery Church of the Nazarene.
I need to hear that because y'all always laugh at me. I'm like, I'm just saying the name of the church.
Well, no, like the first couple, like you're getting into it now. The first couple, you're like, the Refinery Church of the Nazarene. With a little less bass. But
A little less bass, yeah.
Oh man, it's a trip. It's a trip.
Oh,
But no, there's
I
some
love
good folks out there, man. The Blosser family hooks it up
yes.
with great worship, great messages, and even talk to you about regular life. You know, super cool people, super great people out that way.
Absolutely.
I need to go back. I haven't been back.
Yes, yeah, you
It's-
do. You
it's
need
been
to
a
come
while.
and visit. It's been a minute.
Busy, super daggone busy. My kids have been busy. Like, so they got back from camp
Yeah.
yesterday, right? And they're leaving Sunday to go to Florida for another week. I just like took Ian out to eat and was like, "Man, do you ever just sit down and take a nap?" He's like, "No, man." They're always doing stuff. They've had basketball camp. They went to like camp. They've been Dominic's already been to Florida once. He's going back to Florida next week with the fam. And my mom comes and gets them and takes them on like a 3-4 day journey. You know what I mean? Throughout the
That's
summer.
cool.
Yeah, it is cool because you know what I did in my summers? You know, went and played in the mud and got in trouble. Anyway, that's cool, man. That's cool. I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
I was so I show up. She said that they were getting back at 10:30 in the morning, so I show up and I'm like, dude, like let's go canoeing, you know. And Dom just kind of looks at me. He's like he didn't want to say no, and I was like, it's cool, man. If you don't really want to go, and he's like, nah, man, it's cool. And I swear he grew 5 inches while he was gone. Like, kids pretty daggone close to looking me in my eye, you know. I'm just like, geez, I'm right. But he got camper of the week.
Yay! That's
Super
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, that's
Super
cool.
cool. Ian was telling me about how they I guess this group of kids comes every year and starts crap with everybody all week long.
Why is it that way? I wonder.
They were saying that, well, like any story that you hear, there's always that one group of kids. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I guess.
Always.
But that's, you think about it, I guess it's anywhere you go, like any job you have, there's that one person that just can't, y'all can't vibe, y'all can't click, you know what I mean? But anyway, they were saying, Ian was like, I don't want to go back. But they were super cool, and like, I was super proud of this kid, man. He didn't get involved, him or Dominic or their other friend Shaden. Shaden's little brother wound up getting in a fight. He said that there was a fight like every day they were there.
Wow.
And but Dominic, Shaden, and Ian didn't engage. And I was just like, dude, like to be, middle schooler and trying to come in yourself and just start, you know what I mean, and wanting to assert yourself in certain instances, and to have the wherewithal to not,
Right.
you know what I mean, and just choose to stay in your own lane type stuff. Like,
Right.
super proud. And I've prayed about, drugs and girls and stuff like that, and then being influenced or whatever, and that just kind of gives me a little bit of, I ain't gonna lie, like I was tearing up like crazy, when he was telling me these stories. And I was just, thank you, God. Thank you for, at least holding them. That, we can't protect them from everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they're going to make some decisions that you're not going to agree with, and may even be a little disappointment at times. But for him to be 11 and 12 years old and not try to impress friends and make a right decision, you know what I mean? I think it's huge.
Yeah.
I thank God for that.
Absolutely.
For sure. One of the cool things was he said that there was like a church service.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they were saying, if you want to accept Jesus or whatever, come up or whatever. They've been quote unquote baptized through Catholic faith.
Right.
And I don't know enough about that to speak on that. I don't know enough about it to speak educatedly.
Yeah, I can't speak at all
on
it,
what
so.
that means or whatever. But I know what it means to us,
Right.
as far as, being baptized in water and baptized in the Holy Spirit and things like that. And so I just kind of left that one on God, when he was telling me this, because he said that he didn't, when they had the altar call or whatever, he asked Dominic, he said, come on, let's go, whatever. And Dominic said, no, we've already been baptized. And so, like, I'm just like, Lord, how do I handle that? I don't want to trample on something that's being established.
Right.
But I have to let it be known what I believe and how I believe. That baptism is in water and in the Holy Spirit, and you have to do those things, confess your confession of faith in front of people and those types of things, but anyway, super proud of him because he was praying and stuff, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said that he was talking to this kid, and this kid was like, well, I don't know how, whatever. So they kind of prayed together.
Oh.
And then he said the kid was like the kid started crying, and you know what I mean? Just like what I felt that Ian was trying to get across to me was like he felt something by doing that.
Yeah. So Ian's getting his heartstrings pulled on.
Man,
it's gonna happen, right?
Thank you, Jesus.
Right, it's gonna happen.
Little Billy Graham on a hand. Man,
that is so praiseworthy right there.
No joke.
So exciting.
No joke. But before we left, here's where the true praise comes in. Okay, so yesterday was just huge. So anyway, so I show up at 10:30. Sarah doesn't know I'm coming.
Right.
I just thought I would ask if they wanted to go or whatever. And Haley was there, so I asked if she wanted to go. She was like, "Come on, dirty river water,
nasty."
She's 16. Yeah, if it ain't about a boy or a car, she don't want to do it. But anyway. Nah, she didn't want to go, and so Mom pulls up, and so Dominique and are tired. I know it. I'm not going to force you to go. The sun drains you,
right?
So you're already been drained. Like you're probably going to pass out in a canoe anyway. So it's fine. And I asked him, I said, what do you want to do? I was like, I can come back later tonight at 5:30, which is my quote unquote time. I was like, you can sleep all day today and I'll come tomorrow. Well, as soon as I said, what do you want to do? And he looks at me and Sarah's like, your time is tonight from 5:30 to blah, blah, blah.
Ah.
And I was like, okay. So I just gave Dom a hug and I was like, man, I'll see you later. All right. And he goes downstairs. And Ian had his hands full of stuff. They go downstairs. I looked at Sarah and I was like, well, you realize that they've been going on these trips that you didn't ask me for. And those times are not on the paper. So I guess we're going to have to go get that fixed or get that checked on, right? She was like, so you're mad that they went to camp? No. If we're going to act this way, this is what has to happen, right?
Right.
And I was a little bit not nice about it. Wasn't cussing, wasn't angry, wasn't hollering. You know what I mean? But I was just very adamant about if you're going to be this way, then this is what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, that's not on the paper. You're telling me that my paper times are this?
Right.
You didn't ask me if they could go. We didn't talk to it. We didn't go to the course.
Right.
So if that's how we're going to be over here, that's how we have to be over here.
Right.
And so I was like, see you at 5:30 and walked out. So I went canoeing, came back. We got back at like 4. I had to take a nap. I was tired. So I was super tired, and this one drains you, man. It really does. But so I go back at 5:30 and Dom's asleep. Ian comes up. Okay, he's ready to go. We had bought fireworks, and we decided, we're gonna go to Dave & Buster's. Go to Dave & Buster's and then go shoot off some fireworks. And so I was telling Ian. Ian goes and tells Dominic. Dominic doesn't want to come. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, what do? I don't want to make him come. But if I don't sing today, I'm not going to sing, for another couple weeks. And I look at Ian and I'm like, man, what should I do, bro? But, I don't know. And about that time, my phone rings. It's Sarah. Mind you, when I was taking a nap, when I was laying there, I was just like legit praying, like, yeah, I don't know what to do with the situation. I really don't know what to do. So the phone rings and she says, what are you doing tomorrow or whatever? Or what was your plans for tomorrow? And I was like, well, we got all this stuff. I'm just going to do what they wanted to do. I was like, I don't really know. I got a meeting around 1. And then I was just going to pick them up and do whatever. She was like, well, I have a doctor's appointment at 1:45 and they wanted to come with me. Okay. And she said, the reason she had said that they couldn't come at the beginning, they had plans. Well, her plans were to go to Mimi's house, which is her aunt that has this like $300,000 house that they don't even use. It's like their side house. Like, anyway, nice place, really nice place. But anyway, that's what they were going to do. They were going to go out there and go swimming and stuff. So when she calls, she says, what are you going to do tomorrow? Blah, blah, blah. Talk about the meeting. She says, why don't you just come get them after your meeting? Okay. And I was like, what time are you going to Mimi's house? I don't have to go to Mimi's house. And I was like, cool. And I was just like, thank you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you.
That's all I could say. Like, thank you. And I was like, I'm not trying to make this difficult. Like I work with you. Let's work together.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that was really cool. And that was just a huge praise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
For her heartstrings to be touched or whatever caused it,
That's amazing. Yeah, great.
So I thank God on that. I thank God the kids are safe and they're acting cool. And
He's working actively in your life, Frank.
man,
It is so great.
Even though I had a parking ticket on my truck today.
Uh-oh.
$30, man. I had left it. So it's all good. That was my fault.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh.
You pay consequences, but anyway, I just want to take a time out just to thank God and praise His name, man. It's crazy, and it's a process.
Yeah.
But He knows what He's doing, man. Just sit back, let go, and let God, man. It's so crazy. Definitely appreciative. And happy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm happy and excited for you too, because it's just so the way things have gone, the way things have worked, and I just want to say, like, dude, I'm so proud of you. I am. I've just seen so much growth in you, and I appreciate you.
You made me cry.
You know,
You back with?
You're my friend, dude.
Stop. Oh man, I sent you a text the other day. like-
I know, I loved it. I was like, oh,
Well, this whole thing, man, just progression, and Monday for you to use the emotion the way you did. I think that it's progressive, you know what I mean? And that's allowing him to do something, you know what I mean? That's why I made the comment that sometimes, we get emotional and we get depressed and this and that, we don't say anything to anybody. Well, how are we to get blessed in any way? We don't say anything to anybody. So for you to be like, to be that open and to open up, you wouldn't have done that a year ago.
right,
You know what I mean? And that's not because of me, Jeff, or anybody else. I mean, that's just you allowing God to work on you. You know what I mean? And he's doing that. And we don't always see the progression. That's why I had to send you that. Like, I see it. I'm sure Jeff sees it. You know what I mean? Like, you've come a long way. That's awesome. I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. I'm proud to be here. And we got another year or so of this going on, and wherever he's gonna take us, man. I'm happy. I'm happy to go with you.
me too, me too. I am, really, I am blessed. There's been moments where I've been like, God, what is going on? What are we doing? What is this? Is this going to work out? Are you really? What is all this about? But, and as of like Monday, I have these fear things going on, but being able to open up to you Monday and to Jeff today, some this morning, to Dion over the last couple of days, has just helped to put the calm spirit back in me. And I just have to know, I'm going with the ladies to church, in a couple of weeks. All of those things just help put the calm back in me. And
God knows when we need that recharge.
Right.
God knows when we need that. We think we need it way before we do.
right,
You know what I mean? And he does those things. Like when it seems like it's just getting so crazy. You don't know what's going to happen. Oh my goodness, I don't know. It's a growth moment. It's growing time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he wants you to come to him. He wants you to step out in faith when you don't know. And watch him do deliverance. At 2 Corinthians 20, man.
right,
He wants that. You have to know that at some point he's going to give me the relief I need, whether it's talking to Jeff or talking to Dion or going with the ladies. You know what I mean? Like that's going to happen at some point. You got to believe that.
One thing too, everybody goes through the same kind of stuff.
Right.
One of the things the enemy wants to do is to tell you you're the only one who ever has to do this.
right,
Right. And that's not true. We all need each other.
True. Very true. Very true. And it's always somebody's got a different perspective than you thought of.
right,
Same situation, different perspective of it. So Jeff's perspective of what's going on helps you through yours. You know what I mean? I never looked at it that way. How many times did we say that?
right.
I didn't think of that. Oh man, I'm glad I talked to you. Man, that makes me feel better. You know what I mean?
Well, we always think, it could be A, B, C, D, or E, but it's always F.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It's not what we think.
Exactly.
Half the time.
For sure. So yeah, that's super cool, and I think I'm super happy that all this is going on, and we're just gonna keep it pushing.
We're just going to keep growing and growing together.
and
I think.
sweating and sweating, sweating through the oldest, or sweating through the going, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's going to be great though. And I think our that's what is so good about our show is that we have the different platform or perspectives. That's it. Each of us have a different perspective. We can chime in on what's going on, and then our listeners can get that perspective, and maybe it helps somebody else out there too.
Hopefully,
I mean, that's
hopefully
the
so.
idea.
That's the whole goal. That's the whole goal.
We grow and they grow. That's the thing. Let's grow together.
Right.
Grow in love.
Sure. Oh man. So I took that nap, right, and I got home yesterday.
Yeah.
I couldn't go to sleep. I slept for a little while. I slept for a couple hours after we dropped the end off. Then I woke up and I was just left the TV off for a while. You know what I mean? Just so many things going through my mind. Then I couldn't go back to sleep. So like I stayed up till like I don't know, I was probably up till 3 o'clock in the morning or something eating sunflower seeds.
Wow.
They're the only snack I had left in the cupboard.
Sunflower seeds. They're good. I like them. Throw them on a salad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got the kind with the head things.
Oh yeah, take the shell off of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salty goodness,
Yeah.
I guess. Anywho,
Raise that blood pressure up.
I know. Something like I needed that.
No, I had to go to Adams County, West Union yesterday and pick up my check and go buy some school clothes for Dalton. So went and visit him because he's with Ken. So I spent some time over there yesterday.
How's that going? Is he enjoying himself?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, he is. He likes being there, but you know, he don't like to be away from mom for too long. So he kind of gets antsy, you know. That and bored. Well, I'm like, you're gonna be bored here too, so there ain't
Yeah.
nothing gonna stop you from being bored. I bought him a $20 RC car. He told me, he convinced me that he needed an RC car for the apartment.
Oh, yeah?
Because we have an apartment that's so small to drive it through. So I was like, okay. But of course, he opened it up and started playing with it yesterday and then calls me yesterday afternoon and says, Mom, it's not moving. And I'm like, oh, Dalton, really? So you're going to have to wait till Ken gets home and see if he can figure out what's going on because I can't do it with you over the phone.
That's funny.
Yeah. I'm like, well, there went that $20 car.
Hey, at least it was only $20 though. They got some of them things, a couple $100.
Oh, I know. We used to get him great big ones for his birthday and they didn't, or for Christmas, and they don't last 3 months.
Yeah,
They don't. He's a little spoiled.
it's all right. It's all right. Now it's funny because I've always wanted one of those airplane deals.
Yeah,
The multi-color airplanes. They've always been like way too expensive.
right.
I just can't justify, you know, if it was like maybe if I could get like a really nice one for like $50 or something. But I want the kind of like if I'm gonna get one, I want the kind with gas engine, you know, you can like tinker with it and stuff and play, you know, where it's not just like you're not just sitting there, you can play with it.
Right.
You actually gotta land it and stuff, you know. So probably not gonna get one of those.
Yeah, probably not.
That's way too much money. But I did I saw a thing about aeronautics school. And I've always wanted to learn how to either work on planes or fly planes.
Huh.
And I think this is just working on planes. It's an 18-month course. So like, I don't know, I was thinking about that. Well, then toward the end of my nap, the phone rings and it's like, this is the people from whoever has the student loans and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh man, Great Lakes and so forth.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, so she actually caught me because like I was kind of, you know, I told you I was kind of praying to God about, you know, the Sarah situation and all that stuff.
Right.
So she caught me in like kind of a good mood,
Oh.
you know. So I was sitting there talking to her, and you could tell this is probably like 4 o'clock. I guess she had been yelled at all day.
Oh.
Her voice super tender, super like, oh, you want to talk? Oh, well, okay. What's your social? And like she was trying to hurry up and get there. And is that okay? Is that okay? Can I? Blah, blah. I'm like, yeah. And it turns out that right now that we're doing an income based. Like I was like, yeah, do the income based thing. I got to send her paycheck stuff or whatever, but I can be in good standing and not have any payments. And I was like, huh. Maybe that's the thing, opening the door for this other thing. Maybe I don't know, whatever. But I was like we don't know what God's gonna do later on. You know what I mean? But like positioning now for whatever, and that's I don't know. Just to watch it all happen yesterday,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't know. God's amazing.
He is. He is.
So awesome.
He is amazing.
And like she was like, oh, it was so funny. She goes, oh, thank you. And I'm like, what? No, you don't want to tell me I don't have to pay anything.
Right. Thank you. Absolutely.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I was just working all over the place yesterday. All over the place. See, I'm excited to see what he's gonna do today.
Me too. Me too. Every day's a new day. I've got this thing though on my wall that says, "Wake up every morning with the thought that something wonderful is going to happen today."
Hmm.
So I wake up to that every morning on my wall, and you know, even on those days that I think it's crazy, depressing, something wonderful still happens.
Hmm.
You know, He's with us. He woke me up, and to remember that, keep that in the forefront. It's always what we need to do.
The scriptures that we were talking about on Monday tell us these things, and it's so funny that this scripture that pops up as today's verse of the day on the YouVersion Bible app says, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat nor drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes?" We put so much emphasis on these things and not just keep our eyes on God, you know, and just allowing Him to do that. These things, He takes care of this stuff. The stuff's taken care of. You know, whatever I'm going to do with whatever I'm going to need a student loan for or whatever later on was literally taken care of,
Right.
at least momentarily for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think he gives us these things along the way that the more you look into Him, you can't help but build your faith. Look at all the stuff He's pulled me through. Look at all the things, all the stepping stones He has laid right in my path. You know, built bridges over cliffs for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, super crazy.
It's wonderful what He does for us, but what are we learning from it? That's my thing right now. Is what am I learning from it? Because I need to be learning. I need to be growing, and I need to be learning. And I don't feel like, and I guess in learning, you don't necessarily know you're learning until you look at
So
it
you
in
have to use
hindsight,
it,
right?
Yeah.
So I kind
I
of
didn't
feel
know I
like,
knew that.
right. So I just try to keep it, is you got to be learning, you got to be learning. And sometimes it feels like, oh, so much.
Well, and that's another thing, like I was telling the ladies that were here, the things that we know, like they'll come up whenever they're supposed to. But when we're supposed to, when we're learning stuff, it's not like you're learning how to flip that switch over there and it's just going to come right on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The main thing that we have to learn is to continually focus on Him.
Right.
So I think that's why these other things happen. That's why it gets so frustrating sometimes, because like we take our eyes off of Him, and then when this bad thing happen, you're like, oh man, I should have. So the next bad thing that happens, you look to Him more.
Right.
That's a learned thing. You learned how to do that.
Right.
You did that. You know what I mean? You come along and you don't really want to talk to nobody, and you don't want to open up to nobody or whatever. And now here you are a year later, tears rolling down your face on the radio.
Right.
You know what I mean? You learned how to allow Him to be in the situation. That's what we're learning. It's not something that you can put on a piece of paper. It's not something that is going to fit in your pocket that you can carry with you. It's allowing what's in you to be used. You're doing that. You know what I mean? So like, we look for something else. Don't miss the gift for looking at the wrapper. I say that all the time.
All the time,
You know what I mean? Like,
No, that's true. And quit. So for me, I sit and I look at the house and I think of I look at everything that I have and how blessed I really am. And I try to do that more so than what I don't have, because I have more of abundance than what I don't have of. And when I can do that on a normal basis, that's when I do feel good.
and when we think about, like, you had a house and all this bunch of stuff, right? We moved into a smaller apartment.
Mm-hmm.
But now, a couple of months later, what you have is closeness with your kid and a little bit better peace of mind.
Right.
That you wouldn't have had that stuff not happen. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, yeah, you're in abundance right now.
Right.
You know, you have more than you had before.
I
You know what I'm
am,
saying?
absolutely. There's a lot of peace that is going on that wasn't there before. you know, not that there wasn't love, there was plenty of love and there was plenty of concern, but there was no peace. And now there's peace that wasn't there. Even when I come in on Mondays crying that I'm scared of the world.
That's all right. That's all right. You gotta keep doing it. There's days, you know, like I was getting teary-eyed yesterday because I didn't know. I don't like dealing with the situation with my children's mom
Right.
because of the uncertainty. I don't know how it's gonna go. It could be great. It could be, and then I'm also reminded of my past issues, like what I did to cause this. You know what I mean? And you got to think through all that stuff. But then you see him deliver us from the things that caused it, and we're moving forward. You know,
Right.
and it may just be a little bit moving forward, just a little bit, but we're going that direction.
That's what I was going to say. It may be just a small step, but it's still forward and it's not being still. So that I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful to have you. Really, I am.
But thank you. I'd say it daily, dude. I'm one of the luckiest guys on earth, for sure. And I think that one thing that there's a couple of things that hinder us is we don't like to recognize the small progression. We don't think anything's happening, so then we go back to what we're comfortable with.
Right.
Which takes us back out of that small progression, and back into regression. And that's what makes us think that God's not working. But He's always working, and we just don't recognize it.
Yeah.
We choose not to see it. And that's another one of those learned things. What you were learning, what are you seeing now that you weren't seeing before?
Right.
You learned how to do that. You're learning stuff. You're growing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We talked a little bit about, just to get real, we talked a little bit about how you've been treated by guys and this, that, and the other throughout your life. You look at dudes differently now.
Right.
Even if it's just a little bit, you know what I mean? You don't look at the same things that you looked at before. You don't need the same things that you thought you needed before.
Right.
I didn't do that.
No.
God did that.
Yes, he did.
He taught you how to do that. You learned how to do that. That's a big thing. You know what I mean?
I know. So I've come up with this conclusion that I have this sheltered little girl that's inside me that I've had to be in protective and survival mode over for a long time. And I'm letting go of that protective person and letting that sheltered little girl come out. Every day it's different because she don't know what life is about. She stayed sheltered and locked up in this little closet within inside of me for a long time. So I'm just doing it day by day. You know, and most of the time what really gets me is the fear that grips me, the things that grab a hold of me is that person that I'm trying to shed. It's not the little girl that's scared. It's the person I'm trying to get rid of. And I have these double walls right here that I'm trying to get rid of this bad one and keep this good one. You know, learn from this mistake.
Any story, any superhero villain story. You guys been to the movies. You know, Dion been to the movies. What movie did you go see?
Oh, we went and seen a couple, but Avengers Endgame.
Avengers.
For sure.
I haven't seen that one. So anyway, the one I'm thinking of is Spider-Man or Venom. Do you know those characters?
I know. Yeah, I know who they are.
All right. So the story on Venom is there's like this evil entity
Mm-hmm.
that overtakes a person. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then it kind of infiltrates their body and manipulates its mind and makes it go out and do some craziness. Well, it's opposite. It's Spider-Man.
Right.
Spider-Man is the good or whatever. Anytime at the end of the movie when Spider-Man wins, Venom is defeated, it's not the person inside that gets defeated.
Right.
It's the thing that infiltrated that person, that manipulated that person. And it's so funny. I think of Venom, like if you ever see a video, like it's literally like skin you have to pull off.
Right.
You know what I mean? It overtook the person, but it didn't get inside the person.
Right.
Because what's inside you is greater than what's in the world.
Absolutely.
Says that in the good book.
Yes, it does.
So it's like a suit. So yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be rough, and the enemy is gonna be kicking and screaming and trying to figure out any way to hang around. And even when you get it off, it's still hanging on the porch or hanging around outside trying to figure out a way to get back in.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why I think that the quote unquote church, the buildings, and some of the people in them want to make you, or make it portray, they want to portray that, you know, once God comes into your life, then enemies, you know what I mean? You have somebody to fight the enemy with you, which is all true, but it doesn't just happen for a couple of days and it's over.
Right.
You know, once you do accept Christ in your life and realize that you are a child of God and these things, the enemy gets mad and will stop at nothing. Even when you shed old ways and old things, some of those will come back stronger than they were. New things are going to pop up because now that you're seeing the world different, there's going to be new things.
Right.
And then the sheep in or the wolf in sheep's clothing, it's going to look really great. But if you're focused on things and not him,
Right.
then you're going to become susceptible and bow. He's right back in.
Right.
So just the past year alone with both of us, I mean, it's really, I think with this 6:36, Matthew 6:36, or mine was 6:25. Anyway, the whole chapter I think talks about 6:25. Do not worry about your life, what will you eat, what will you drink, or about your body. Is not life more than food, or more than clothes? As long as we try to keep that mentality, then that's the longer the enemy stays away and the growth comes in, the learned behaviors have come in because we began not to worry about those things as much as we did before.
Right.
That's where you can say, oh man, you know what, I have learned some stuff. We just don't think about it. I told you that story about I didn't see this person for like 6 months. And they were like, what's going on with you? And I was like, oh, nothing, whatever. And I got thinking about it. I was like, man, I didn't graduate school. I done did it. You know,
Right.
I did all the type of stuff. Yeah, this stuff. Yeah, wait a minute.
All kinds
I
of
didn't
stuff
know
going
this.
on, yeah.
So you can say, yes, I've learned a lot. I've learned how to keep learning.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, you know, I guess when you sit and think about what all we have gone through in the last year, there has been a lot that has happened. A lot has gone on for sure in the last year. It's not been nothing. There has been a lot. How do we get wrapped up in the second though, and forget to look at all of the blessings? That's what can't
We
do
haven't
that.
trained ourselves. It's,
Right.
I attribute it to baseball. I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. I remember when I first started playing baseball, a little kid, right?
Mhm.
I'd sit out in my backyard. I had this old school wooden bat, and I'd sit out in the backyard and I'd pick up rocks and hit them, you know, over the fence. And I didn't know what a proper stance was. I didn't know how to hold my hands. I didn't know how to hold the bat properly, whatever. I know what I'd seen on TV.
Right.
Run the bases, whatever. And so, 12 years old, mom didn't really want me playing sports. Whatever. 12 years old, I'm coming home girl, and finally talked her into signing me up for Eastern Little League. And I go out there, and 12 is the oldest age you can be to be in this little league. So I go out there, and I remember tryouts. Yeah, I was trying my hardest, and I remember getting up to bat, and they put the ball in the machine for the tryout, right? I see the ball. I spin around so hard, my helmet goes around my head. You know what I mean? Like it was legit something out of a movie. And I was pretty fast as a kid. And so they have you run the bases, they have you run out into the outfield and catch some balls and just try out different things, right?
Right.
I remember that first time I tried to swing at that ball. And so luckily I had one of the greatest coaches, Ricky Hale. He actually took the Southern Little League after all of us. He took them to the Little League World Series.
All right.
He was a really good coach, but love that guy, and he really cared. So one of the reasons he was a really good coach is because he didn't try to generalize us. He
Right.
was like, well, you're horrible in this area, let's work on this. You're horrible in this area, let's work on this. Or he'd be like, y'all three work on this thing. I'm gonna work with you one-on-one, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't trying to generalize and make you buy into a system.
Right.
He just wanted to make you better.
Right.
Which is, I mean, think about preachers and pastors, and they wanting to make you better, or they just wanting to say some words. Whole nother, we'll save that for another episode. Anyway, but what I'm getting at is, I remember the last game that I played, something out of a movie, seriously. Bases loaded, bottom of the ninth, count run. I had 2 strikes on me or whatever, and this kid throws the bases weren't loaded. This kid throws the pitcher throws a high ball. Now, at this point, I've practiced. I've been to all the practices, all the games, been through different situations. So now I can see the ball more clearly.
Right.
I can understand the situation. Should I swing at this ball? That's a little high, but I got a chance to knock somebody in to win the game. Should I just let it go and hope the guy behind me is going to do it? I don't know. We could not win this game. I don't know. So I'm seeing the ball clearly. It's a little bit up over my head, but I know I can hit it. So I swing for the fence, man. Ball hits in the outfield. I get to second base. 2-run score. We win the game.
Yay.
In answer to your question, the only reason I used that analogy was because I had practiced doing it wrong,
Right.
and I finally started to get it right. Then
Right.
you could see a situation. That's the only way that we're ever going to get it right is
Right.
by practicing.
Practicing.
We tend not to think of him first. We
Right.
tend not to want to do the right thing first. We tend to want to act out of emotion, on our feelings, or our own carnal knowledge
Right.
first. That's what we want to do first. But the more that we don't do that, we have to practice not doing that. Then when a situation comes, you can see the ball clearly, and you can make a decision.
You're so right. You're so right. And it takes practice, and it takes failure. It does. It takes it to make it success for the next time.
I
Because you
struck
have to
out
see-
I don't know how many times
Right.
before I could see the ball. You know, that first time, man, if y'all could have seen me, I'll never forget that. My hat was on crooked. Dude, it was so funny. So
Charlie Brown.
That's
yes,
hilarious.
yes, exactly that. Oh my goodness. Oh man. At the time I was scared. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because like I didn't know how the tryouts worked at that time. Like I figured I wasn't gonna get picked up. After doing that, and there's people everywhere watching you, you know, like the coaches, they stand in the line. That's why they have the machine do it, so they can watch what you do.
Right.
And it's people just all around me watching, you know. And I'm a very fortunate person that God put in me, that I'm a guy that once I say I'm gonna do something, it really don't matter if I fail or not. Like we're gonna have to do it. You know what I mean? So I stood in there and did it. I knew I wasn't gonna, especially after watching some of these other kids that have been playing forever. Like, let's try it out, see what happens. You know? And I still got picked up by the Pirates. And there's another thing, like the first step is standing in. You know what I mean? Standing up.
Right.
That's just being faithful to him, you know. But then you don't know what's going to happen. In not knowing, that leaves good options too.
That's true.
There are good options that you don't know are there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Good outcomes that you don't know are there. Uncertainty isn't always bad. It doesn't mean that there's always a bad situation around the corner. It could be a great situation. I answered that phone yesterday. My payments went from $260-some to nothing.
0. Right.
On a phone call. You know what I mean? Like, it could have went the other way. They could have been like, well, dude, if you don't pay this, it's gonna go up to 400 something. That's how we're training ourselves to think.
Right.
When we practice letting God do this thing, we start to see more and more, man, there's some good things. Wow. Look what he's doing for real. Wow. And that becomes the hope. That becomes what it is, more than a hope. That's what it becomes, reality.
Right.
To the carnal man. And that's why it becomes such a fight as you're taking that old lady from that little girl. That's why the fight is so strong, because the enemy knows how good these things can be.
Right.
He knows how great the outcome can be. That's why he's trying to fight hard. Wait a minute. Come on. Don't you miss being depressed?
No.
No, you don't miss that.
Not
You
at
know
all.
what I mean? But he's gonna wrap it
No.
up and make it seem great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's gonna wrap it in a package. It's gonna make you want to be like, oh,
Not-
do I miss that?
Not in a minute.
Yeah.
Not at all. I don't miss it at all.
That's fun. And one thing Eileen says on here: do not suppose Matthew 10:34. Do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but sword.
Sword.
And that's part of that learned behavior, remembering that it's not always going to be candy and rainbows. That's not why Jesus came.
No,
That's
it's a
not-
constant fight.
The enemy's not going to stop, but we have something to fight him with. That's a good point. Thank you, Eileen. That was great.
Yes.
So we got a few minutes here. You want to be Will for a second?
Let's be Will.
Let's be Will.
Oh,
All
let's be
right.
See what the Will's got to say today.
Let's be Will.
Luke 5:16.
Luke 5:16. If you have your Bibles, please turn with us to Luke chapter 5, verse 16. Luke chapter 5, verses. Oh, I'm in. Sorry, y'all. Luke chapter 5, verse 16. What does the card say?
The card is NIV, and it says, Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed.
Well, as we talk about, that's cool. Read it one more time.
Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Luke 5:16.
I think it's super cool that goes, I believe that's one of your answers.
Mhm.
A perception, Jesus's perception of how to do what you ask. Like, how do we get there? How do I remember to do this every day or keep my eyes on him when things get bad? That's one thing I was talking to Alan about, was Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed.
Yeah.
How often do we do that?
Not often enough, probably.
Well, if we're going to take this thing seriously, then we have to really practice.
Right.
And really, you know what I mean? And to do it, like I've made the statement, these daily verses come on my phone. I just read it. Is that really internalizing? Am I really learning anything from it? To take time to go to your prayer closet, or just to take 20 minutes where there's no phone, no TV, no nothing, and pray, he's going to equip you with something that you're going to need sometime.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's one of the keys.
He says it is. He's always going to this place to pray and talk to his Father. And that's what draws you closer to God, and God closer to you, and makes you his friend, is going to the lonely place to pray. Not none of the fancy places.
Right.
Don't go to the fancy place to pray. Go to that lonely place to pray, because that's where you're going to hear him.
Well, and I think, like yesterday, when I was praying that prayer to, about the kids and the whole situation, like, it wasn't out of a place of necessity or like I didn't have anything else I could do. Like, I'm coming to you now. It was one of those just genuine, God, I don't know what to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm coming to you from a lonely place. There are options, but I know that you're the right one. So I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? And he fixed it. At least for the time being.
I think my lonely place prayer right now is just to open my brain up into understanding what he wants me to learn. Just help me to understand. Just to be with me and help me to understand. I don't have to know, so understand probably ain't the right phrasing, but just to know that he's with me and to understand that he's with me and that it's okay. It's okay that I go through spells of fear as long as I can turn back to him.
Mm-hmm.
and say, hey, I'm scared to death. I need you. I need you because I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't even know why I'm scared. So I really need you.
I think the only reason is because you super close to a breakthrough, and the enemy's trying to use whatever he can
That's
to
great.
keep you where you're at. Because this is probably his last shot. You know what I mean?
Well, I pray that you're right because I'm ready for a big breakthrough. It's his last shot for sure.
It is hot. It's a little warm. But the story in Matthew, not Matthew, in Luke. Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say, he's always desperate.
Oh yeah. I feel that. So this verse, Luke 5:16, but Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. He's telling a story. You back up to verse 12. He had called his first disciples, and then he healed a man of leprosy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, Jesus called his first disciples. I'll just read it. One day, as Jesus was standing by the lake of that place, the people were crowded around him and listening to the word of God. He saw at the water's edge 2 boats left there by the fishermen who were washing their nets. He got into one of the boats, one belonged to Simon, and asked him to put out a little from shore. And he sat down and taught the people from the boat. When he had finished speaking, he said, Simon, go down in the deep water and let down the nets for a catch. Simon answered, Master, we've worked hard all night. We haven't caught anything. Basically, Simon had been fishing, didn't catch anything. Jesus sees this guy, right? Jesus sees this person for who he is, not what he's done, sees him for who he is. So he gets on his boat and he starts talking to people about his father. Tells Simon to cast off, put his nets down. Simon's like, this is what we do. I haven't caught anything all day. What do you mean? You're telling me to do this? This is my craft, Jesus.
Right.
What are you trying to tell me to do? This
Right.
is what I do for a living. I know there are no fish in this. And don't we do that?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Jesus is like, hey, go out and talk to this person. Jesus, I've talked to this person 500 times. They're not going to change their mind.
But the
Jesus.
good thing is that Simon listened though, and he put his boat out, and he did drop his line.
Right. He finally did.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's a prime example of what we do.
Yeah.
Jesus is in the boat with us, and we telling him, nah, we got this. Nah, man, I can't. I've been here. So then Jesus said to Simon, do not be afraid. From now on, you will fish for people. After Simon sees, he gets an abundance of fish. He's like, oh man, super cool. I've been doing this for days. Now with you, look at all the fish that I have.
Right.
So I invite you into my life. Now I have stuff more abundant. Does that sound familiar? I think it does.
Yes, it does.
So anyway, so Jesus says, so imagine you catching all those fish. You are going to fish for people. You're going to catch a lot of people.
Right.
But you got to learn from me.
Right.
So come with. I'll show you some stuff. Let's hang out. So I was like, okay. You know? So then Jesus heals the man with leprosy. And basically he's showing Simon how to talk, what it doesn't say is how Simon learns.
Right.
Is he visual? Is he oral? Is he does he have to read to learn or whatever? My guess is he's a very visual person. Seeing what Jesus had done with the fish, seeing him heal this man, taught Simon a lot. What he also was taught was at the very end of that, verse 16, Jesus had to go take a chill. I've taught all day. I've got a new guy on my side, whatever. I need to go take a moment. I need to reconnect with my Father. A lot of times, like preachers, pastors, evangelists, we want to go out in these streets and just keep on blah, 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 and preaching the word, which is a good thing, but we forget that we need a reboot.
Right.
You know what I mean? We need to stay connected with him.
Right.
We think we've got it until so much piles up and piles up and piles up. Then we shut down and we're not as effective
Mm-hmm.
as we could have been if we had stayed connected
Stay connected.
to the Father. So I think taking these times is very important. Any moment that you can, sit,
Yes.
chill, read, and remember, do not worry about what you should eat, what you should drink, or whatever. God's got you. And remember, so far, how far He's brought us already.
For real.
We've got a couple of minutes left. Just want to give another shout out to Bowling Chiropractic and Wellness, the official sponsor of OK, Let's Be Frank. Shout out to New Reality at Fort Mitchell Baptist Church every Friday night, 6 o'clock. They feed us. 7 o'clock is a message. 8 o'clock is a meeting for those who need that. Brother Chris Hamilton, Jeff Howard, Greg Moore, all of you guys, thank you so much for all that you do down there. New Hope Christian Center, thank you for the love and support of the OK, Let's Be Frank show.
Yes, absolutely. Love your support.
For sure. Check them out, 10:15 Sunday mornings, 941 Central Avenue in Newport, Kentucky, 7 p.m. Wednesday nights for Bible study, led by the Kevin Johnson.
Need to go.
I know, you got to check it out. You want to talk about somebody
Check it
that,
out. Yeah.
man, woo, he can't light a fire under you. Nobody can. And
The Refinery Church of the Nazarene.
there we go. She smiled when she said it that time.
Maysville,
That sounded a little good. No, I'm just anyway. Nah, man, it's super cool, folks. Again, I
Love
want to
them
thank
all.
everybody for love and support.
Yes.
Check in with us Monday at 11 a.m. when we're back here in the studio. I don't think we're not having a guest on Monday, are we?
Not that I'm aware of.
Who knows?
No
that may
surprise
change.
guest, it may change.
It may
Yeah.
change. Anyway, check us out here on 1320 AM WCVG The Voice. This has been another episode of OK, Let's Be Frank. See you Monday at 11.
Bye.
Oh, man. Thank you guys for watching. Love you. Mean it. Don't worry, Matthew 6:25. Don't worry. Be happy. Anyway, check it out. Check it out, man. God's too good. God is too good.
Yes, he is.
Don't overlook the gift for looking at the back. Remember,
We're going to
Small
dive into
steps
the Word, talk together,
are still
and get
steps.
closer
Go to your
God.
prayer place.
Okay, let's be free.
Quiet
So
prayer
Mondays
place.
at 11
Amen
a.m.
to that.
and Wednesdays
Amen to
at
that.
noon,
Y'all
right
take it
here on
easy.
WCVG
See you on Monday.
See ya.
1320 AM.
The Voice, 1320 AM.